Have you ever wondered where certain words or phrases come from? Like, why do we say rule of thumb? Or where did the phrase love is blind come from? What about flash in the pan or tie the knot? Me too. We've discovered a podcast that answers all of these questions. It's called Why Do We Say That? It's a father and son podcast hosted by Scott and Liam Kelly. They explain the history and etymology of words and phrases you use every day, but we're maybe curious about where they came from or why do we say that? Episodes are released every Tuesday, and at the end of the episode, they play a fun word game. In Season 1, they played Word or Not a Word, and currently in Season 2, they are playing the world-famous game show, What Word Am I? Contestants are given the dictionary definition of a word, and they have to guess what the word is. Kind of challenging if you ask me. The Why Do We Say That podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. Give it a listen today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Crime and Coffee Couple. My name's Allison.
And my name's Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, what's going on?
You know, a little of this and a little of that.
Yeah, that's it?
Yeah.
Not too much, not too little, not too much. Good.
Coming out of spring break here. Our kids were off all week. I took a couple of days off work. It has been lovely.
Yeah, it's been kind of nice having you around.
I have been in heaven.
Yeah. It's been real nice. You've had it like makes the days feel different. Like if today we're recording on a Saturday, it feels like it's Sunday already. So we got an extra day kind of still left,
Like a bonus day.
Yeah.
Just not having that schedule. I haven't done a staycation in years.
Yeah.
So it's been great to just be home and not have a set agenda and just kind of do our own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been really getting into a local coffee place called Bee Coffee. Oh, I probably shouldn't say the name of it. Or
Why?
Should I don't know.
Why would you not say it?
I don't know. Why wouldn't I? I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of dangerous.
Like a weirdo?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's a good like local place. I was gonna it's what are you into now? What's your drink of the choice?
I do an iced mocha with coconut milk and then half the amount of mocha.
It has coconut milk. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I sub out.
Okay.
And normally I think it comes with like 2%.
Yeah.
But I do coconut milk and half the amount of mocha.
And she is obsessed with it, folks. I think you woke up this morning and you were like, I need one. I need like a mocha coffee, something.
If I could have it injected directly into my veins, I'd also be fine with that.
No, this one is actually from Starbucks.
Yes.
So it's this isn't from our local little shop, but we happen to be taking a nice little walk with the family because we're getting ready for a big hike we got later for a family vacation.
Yes.
So we're gonna. You're loving these mocha things.
I am obsessed.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty buzzing on coffee too. Had myself I had like an espresso, I had my regular K-cup, and then I also had we went out to lunch, so I had a coffee, like a brunch, and I had, once you get coffee at a restaurant, I love it because you just slam the coffee. You can have as much as you want, and you're damn right I'm going to, because I'm paying $5 for one cup of coffee, basically.
Well, they put the carafe on the table so that you could have as much as you want.
First watch. If you guys have a First Watch near you, good times.
It's funny because the waitress was looking at our son and he's like, I'll have coffee.
Yeah.
She's like, I wasn't expecting that. She didn't say that, but I know that's what she was thinking.
You could see it in her head.
Yeah.
But it's I just keep them coming, man. Just keeping that thing pouring is so good. Oh,
well,
man.
We are the Crime and Coffee Couple.
Yeah. Well, I'm not drinking it now. I'm drinking water, so I can kind of calm down.
You had to come down. You're buzzing around here, all angry and stuff before the podcast. You're like,
okay. And I'll tell you why. So Allison likes to have things just so. She likes to have everything in their place.
Yeah.
And she got this stupid basket from probably Amazon. I would have to guess.
It's really nice and it corrals everything.
I'm going to get up on the YouTube channel here and show it.
And Mike doesn't care if we live in squalor. We'll say that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're watching the YouTube video, you could see my basket. It's nice. And rather than having a shit ton of cords all over the desk that you see right when you walk into our front door, it's nice and contained.
Yeah.
It's not unsightly as Mike likes things.
And you might say, Mike, what's the big deal? She likes things nice, which is really nice. I agree.
What is the big deal, Mike?
Well, here's the thing. So we paid good money for these items that we have, plugged into the microphones and such, and it bends everything so that when she wraps it up and everything, she has to have it out of her mind. So she got to put it in this little box, and it bends all the cords. So I'm just looking forward to when it's okay, time to record. She's doing hanging motions if you're not watching the video.
If you're watching the YouTube, there's been lots of motions.
And some other things I probably didn't catch. But sometime we're going to go to record and it's going to be broken. She'd be like, why isn't it working? Why is it, Mike, can we get something from Amazon?
Kids, if you're not yet married, don't do it.
Don't do it. Find somebody cool like me. Just, make sure your other partner is a little bit less neurotic, I would say.
I would definitely agree with you in the sense that I am neurotic.
Yeah. But we got to, I get it. You got to put stuff away. That's fine. Just let's figure out something that actually works.
I will take care of it. You will see that it will work.
I'm
Now
nervous.
shut
You can
your
see
pie
I have
hole.
like nervous energy. It's just like,
No, I think it was the 15 cups of coffee that you ingested.
yeah, I'm also obese still. So I'm working up like a lot though.
Yeah, you are. I'm proud of you.
4 days a week.
Choosing healthier food options.
Yeah. I had a little salmon frittata.
A frittata?
Yeah, a little frittata.
Well, how nice.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. I'm getting like extra protein. You know, there's a guy, I used to read this book by Tim Ferriss, 4 Hour Work Week. He's got like a whole diet and everything. It's for like 10, 15 years ago it was written. But one of the things in his 4-hour diet is the fat tax, basically. Like not to be fat, you basically add extra protein to everything. So it's like an extra surtax for yourself to not be a fat person. So anytime, and I think of it that way. I hate spending extra money, but at the same time, I'm going to pay double protein for everything so I don't ingest more rice and bread and stuff like that. So I've been getting like double shrimp and double salmon and whatever.
Chicken.
Yeah, exactly. Any protein.
A little of this, a little of that.
Yeah.
So.
But besides that, man, it's been a great week.
It has been. And sadly, back to work on Monday.
Yeah. But we do want to say, hey, thanks for anybody leaving us reviews. It helps us out quite a bit. It's a great way to help us, for free and support us. And want to just read this latest one from Sufficient.
Oh.
It's hard to say it, but it says...
Yeah, mine, whenever I leave reviews on people's podcasts, it totally jacks up. Like I have a bunch of letters and numbers.
Yeah. So that's what one of these are. But it says, thank you, love you too, and really enjoying you on YouTube too. Great job.
Aw, how nice.
Nice
Thank
and simple.
you.
Something like that.
Sweet and simple.
Yeah, something simple. Go ahead. Do it if you got an
Much
iPhone.
appreciated.
Leave it, or any of those other platforms as well, Spotify, whatever.
Yeah.
Leave us a review. We greatly appreciate it.
Greatly appreciate it. We've been getting a lot of listener suggestions as well. And those are also, I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again, greatly appreciated.
We just got like a flurry of like 3 or 4. Allison's
Yes.
like, oh, thank you so much. So yeah, thank you so much for sending them. And one last thing, Allison, your shirt is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Where'd you get it?
On our link tree, you can find it.
Yes, and probably in our show notes.
And
as
our
well.
show notes.
Yeah, well,
yes.
it's our merch store. So
and we appreciate each of you who have purchased something from our merch store.
absolutely, it helps spread the word. We're not making like anything on it.
No.
It's more about getting the word out. So.
And I think as time goes by, maybe we can design some new things too. I kind of have some things in my mind of what we could do.
Ooh, a little tease.
Yeah.
Okay.
The wheels are always spinning up in this rusty brain.
Several hamsters moving
Exactly.
quickly.
They're really old.
Yeah.
So if you are ready, Mike, I am.
Yeah, let's do it.
So this is a listener suggestion. This is the death of Tucker Hips. And this was suggested by listener Ashley. So thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate it. So in September of 2014, 19-year-old Tucker Hips was a sophomore who was pledging the beta chapter of Sigma Phi Epsilon, which is known as SigEp at Clemson University.
We had SigEps at Northern Illinois.
So moving forward, I'll be likely referring to this fraternity as SigEp. So this is in Clemson, South Carolina. On Monday, September 22nd, 2014, the fraternity was participating in a pre-dawn pledge run that ended in Tucker's death.
That sucks.
Not what you would expect with something like this happening.
Yeah, I mean, once you were talking about fraternities and stuff, I was never part of a fraternity. I almost was. I was thinking about it. You were like, if you join a fraternity, we're probably not going to last.
It just wasn't my thing. It's just not what I'm about. I would never in a million years consider, and I am not knocking anybody that chose that lifestyle. I'm just talking about my own personal preference.
Yeah.
I'm just not the type of person that would join a sorority. I remember in one of my psychology classes, there was this girl that was so obnoxious and she would sit behind me every day. And she was just one of those people that is just like, shut up, like just stop talking. All she did was just talk about herself. And I remember one day I was sitting there and she talked so loud you couldn't help but overhear. And she was like, yeah, last night I completely trashed my room and then I called my pledge sister and had her come over and clean it up. And in my head I'm like, if you fucking called me at midnight to clean up your shit, I would tell you exactly where to shove it.
Yeah, and also F off and all those sort of things.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure not everybody's a piece of shit like that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm
Yeah.
not generalizing. I realize that not everyone's like this, but I'm just using this as an example.
That's stuck in your
I
head.
was just like, oh, nasty. So anyway, this just ended tragically. At the time, Tucker was studying political science and chose SigEp because he had plans to go to law school after graduation. He felt it would help with internship opportunities. Just, another thing to put on your resume, basically.
Also the network. So there's like, once you're in a fraternity or sorority, you have the network of people that will take care of their brothers and sisters.
Yes.
And that's absolutely a real thing.
And that's why I'm saying if that's your route, I am 100% not knocking you. It's just not my path. It wasn't my path. Let's face it, I'm an old lady now. So he had been elected the fraternity's pledge class president and was serving as the liaison between the pledges that were hoping to become members. Because Tucker was an only child, he was looking to be around others and basically give him a sense of brotherhood because he didn't have that growing up. So
it's a great way to make quick friends.
Absolutely. So Tucker was born on June 5th, 1995 to parents Cindy and Gary Hips. The couple hadn't actually planned to have children. Cindy was 35 years old when Tucker was born. They both felt that, the birth of Tucker just changed their lives in a way they never expected. He was passionate about many things in life, including what was called the Palmetto Boys State. He was a senior counselor here. It's basically a program that teaches young men to learn about the American system of government and politics by participating in a mock government system.
Interesting.
And it's like you go off to this and participate. Maybe it's a week long. I'm not entirely sure. And I think they have a girls system as well.
I think I've seen that. At least like something related to that. It's interesting.
I had never heard of it.
Really weird to be that young and so into politics. It's it's like good and bad, I guess.
And he was not one dimensional. Like he was into a lot of things. He loved helping others, especially those who were less fortunate. Despite being a college student with little money, Tucker was the kind of person who would take a homeless person to lunch. He would always choose experiences and people over things. Things weren't important to him. Experiences were.
And study after study says that's way more important.
Super important. Like traveling and stuff like that. But they just said he was always happy. People just gravitated to him because he was just such an upbeat, positive person, always smiling. Just somebody that they say if you're spending time with like a positive person, they're filling up your bucket rather than depleting it.
Yeah.
Tucker seemed like somebody that absolutely filled your buckets. So Cindy, his mom, remembers Tucker's contagious smile, his bright eyes, and he did absolutely have a very beautiful smile and bright eyes. Tucker loved everyone, and those who knew him felt that he was their best friend. I watched a lot of interviews with like various guys, and all of them just spoke so highly of him and just had the utmost of respect for him as a person.
I'd say check out our Instagram for a picture of him.
Yeah. And he had a girlfriend named Katie. He was athletic, super, super athletic. He participated in soccer, baseball, football, and basketball.
Wow.
It's like this was a talented kid.
In college?
Not in college,
Okay.
but throughout his life. What he participated in college, they didn't exactly say. Tucker attended Rock Springs Baptist Church in Easley, South Carolina. He was very involved in his church. They described him as a man of God, very faithful. He was very involved in his youth groups at his church. So just very multidimensional.
Very giving and stuff and thinking about the community.
And his mom said he was one of those people that would never just sit around. He always wanted to be outdoors doing things. And so many of the videos I watch, like he's in kayaks, he's playing sports, just go, go, go.
Sounds like the kind of life we should all kind of strive for.
Absolutely. I'm so much of a homebody. I'm just like,
You are.
so
You're
much
like,
nicer
I don't want to
just be
go
at home.
Yeah.
So Cindy and Gary checked in with Tucker, calling him the day before he died. And of course, they didn't know it would be the last time they would hear their son's voice. He told them that he was very busy on campus. He was playing in a soccer tournament on campus. They ended their call by each of them saying, "I love you." And Cindy carries these words in her heart. In the first 3 weeks of the fall of 2014 semester, Clemson authorities were investigating complaints that had been voiced about violations by Sigma Phi Epsilon as well as other fraternities. These fraternities were at risk for suspension for violations involving hazing and sexual misconduct. So there were definitely things going on that were threatening their suspension, not of just this fraternity, but others on campus at that time.
Well, yeah, because they all get ideas from each other. It's monkey see, monkey do.
And they're young.
Yeah,
you know?
young and stupid, and alcohol's involved and makes them make bad decisions.
So the early morning run on September 22nd was a hazing ritual and had been banned by the National Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity and violated Clemson's hazing policy. SigEp had sent emails to Clemson authorities hoping to get permission to hold the run on the morning of September 22nd, but the university never responded to the request. They basically took the silence as permission and went ahead.
Ask for forgiveness rather than
Yes.
wait for permission.
Exactly. So they went ahead with the event. A text was sent to the 27 pledges instructing them to wear dark clothing that morning so that they wouldn't be spotted. As pledge class president, it was Tucker's job to pick up 30 McDonald's biscuits, 30 hash browns, and 2 gallons of chocolate milk. He was to bring these items to the fraternity hall before the run started so that everyone could have their breakfast after they finished the run.
Nothing like biscuits and chocolate
And hash.
milk.
It's such a 19-year-old thing to have. Like, what'd you have for breakfast? Hash browns, biscuits, and chocolate milk.
Hey, it sounds pretty good.
So something went down. I think Tucker just didn't have the money necessarily because, again, he's a 19-year-old college student, to buy 30 breakfasts.
You got to figure that's like 60, 70-ish bucks.
Yeah.
80 maybe at that time. Or who knows. But yeah, it's if I had $20 on my hand,
A chunk of change when you're in college. So he didn't bring the breakfast. And this caused an argument with Tucker and another member who was Thomas King. So regardless, Tucker and the other pledges started the run across Highway 93 bridge at 5:30 a.m. that morning. Before 7 a.m., it was discovered that Tucker was missing when he didn't report to the fraternity breakfast. So what they had done was they asked the pledges to leave their phone and keys. I don't know if it was in a bowl or something like that, but they were to be left behind and they were going to run the route, whatever they had chosen to do, without these items. So everyone's back. They see there's a set of keys. There's a phone sitting there that Tucker hadn't come back to get his items. So this is when they're saying they realized he wasn't there. The pledges began to look for Tucker at around this point, which would have been 7 a.m., but they didn't report him missing. At approximately 1:45 p.m., a brother named Campbell Starr made a 911 call. So during the 4-minute and 45-second call, Campbell specified twice that he did not want a police report or a missing persons report taken. He basically called and said, "We don't want to file a report. We just want to see if you can help us out." And I actually listened to the call, and you could tell that the dispatcher was kind of confused.
Well, yeah, it's like, you're calling 911, you dumbass. What do you think we're going to do?
Yeah, so basically what he was saying to the 911 dispatcher was, did you pick anybody up? And she's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, on the side of the road. And she's like, "Sir, we don't pick people up on the side of the road. I'm confused. What are you calling about?"
So he's going, obviously he doesn't want to report because it's going to be on their permanent record and stuff, the
Right.
SigEp's permanent record. And they already know they can't be doing this, so they know they're going to get in trouble. So at the same time, at least he's good enough to call and, be concerned. And, he's trying to say, is there some way we can just take care of this without making it official?
Right.
It's like, no.
This was close to 8 hours after they realized that Tucker had gone missing, just a side note.
Yeah.
So when she asked for the missing person's name, Starr was clearly hesitant to provide it, but he did eventually tell the dispatcher. And then he also gave his own name. At approximately 3:30 p.m., Tucker's body was found. It was floating in Lake Hartwell after one of the brothers led campus police to his location. His blue athletic shoes were visible, and much of his body was submerged underwater. At 5:15 p.m., his body was recovered in the shallow waters less than 10 feet from the shore. An autopsy later found that he had died from blunt force trauma consistent with a head injury from a downward headfirst fall into the rocks in the shallow waters below.
Jesus.
Just tragic.
Yeah.
He also had injuries to his arms and legs. A toxicology report was done. It
How
showed
far of a fall is that?
I don't know how far. I actually saw the bridge and where it was. I would guess somewhere around 30 feet.
Okay.
I am not a good judge of that, so I could be completely wrong. So do not take that as fact. They did a toxicology report. He had not been drinking or ingesting drugs at the time of his death, though he would have likely been really in no shape to do this run because he got very little sleep the night before. I guess some of the frat brothers had called him multiple times throughout the night, not to mention the fact that the run was starting at 5:30 in the morning. He probably would have had to get up around 4:30.
I'm sure they do that to all of them to kind of make their lives a living hell.
Right, and this was a Monday morning. This was a school day.
How long of a run?
They did not say.
Okay. So, yeah, he was playing soccer. He probably was in decent shape.
So it sounded like they all got back for breakfast at around 7 a.m. So approximately it sounds like somewhere around an hour and a half that they were out running, which is a long time.
It is, yeah.
So police launched a death investigation at this point, obviously. So they were speaking to any of those people that were present on the morning of Tucker's death. There was definitely a lack of information about what happened.
Did he start with everybody else?
It sounds like yes, he did.
Because okay. I wasn't sure if he came late because of the breakfast thing, but I'm sure it was probably one of those things. Maybe they're like driving a truck and they'll have to follow the truck and they can throw stuff. Who knows?
There was no
know.
mention of them following a moving vehicle.
Okay.
So they told a story of meeting at the frat house, going for the run, coming back. Basically, what I heard on the 911 call is what everybody said. We met for the run. We went at breakfast time. We realized Tucker wasn't there. They all said they hadn't seen him fall into the water. So they're not getting any information of how did this 19-year-old athlete go out for a run and end up in the waters below a bridge? What the hell happened?
Did he decide to do it himself? They have to investigate every piece of it. Did he have a vendetta with somebody? Whatever. Yeah, that's tough.
And of course, it's coming up that he got into a little tussle with one of the members about the lack of breakfast. So his parents are, hearing this devastating news that their son died in a morning run for the frat, and they're not understanding what happened. And they began to wonder if they would ever learn the truth of what truly happened to their son that morning. So court records indicate that Tucker's family found that some of the SigEp brothers were deceptive. They were not forthcoming with police. Members had deleted many text messages. Some tried to delete cell phone records in the days and hours after Tucker died. Campbell Starr, who made the 911 call, actually ended up changing his phone number. His attorney later would claim that the only reason why he did this was because he was being harassed by the media. But regardless, it just looked suspicious.
Sure.
So a witness finally came forward with some information after the investigation had been at a standstill for close to a year. It was about 11 months that Tucker's family has no idea what the hell happened.
I mean, the brotherhood of your, fraternity is one thing, but somebody died. I mean, and if it's at the hands of this guy that he had the little tiff with or, whatever, then you have to come out and say something about it. I mean, a whole year, that's pretty bad. Like, if somebody knows something, even if you heard some stories.
And people talk.
Yeah,
I mean, teenagers talk, especially within a community of brotherhood where it's tight.
And especially when they drink alcohol and stuff, loose lips start, roaming
Sink
around.
ships.
They do sink ships. And hopefully whoever, did this to Tucker, they're going to get sunk.
So Cindy Hips feels that this person coming forward helped answer some questions, connect some dots, but she still feels that there are some dots missing and she hopes to one day know the full picture. I'm going to tell you a lot more about this witness and what was said here. The sheriff's department thoroughly investigated and interviewed the alleged witnesses, but no criminal charges resulted from any of the witness statements. A wrongful death lawsuit was filed in April of 2015 in Pickens County Court, seeking more than $25 million in damages from a list of defendants believed to be responsible for Tucker's death. Included was Clemson University, the South Carolina Beta chapter of Sigma Phi Epsilon. Is it Sigma Phi or Pi?
Phi.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm saying that right. Sigma Phi Epsilon Fraternity Incorporated, and the 3 members of Clemson's SigEp chapter who actually arranged the pre-dawn run, which was Thomas King. This is the person that he got into the little spat with about the breakfast. Campbell Starr, who was the one that made the 911 call, and then Samuel Carney, who happened to be the son of Delaware Governor John Carney. The lawsuit claimed that King ran behind the group to ensure that no one fell behind. It indicates that he received a phone call from another frat member that was angry that the breakfast hadn't been provided as instructed, and that King confronted Tucker about this on the bridge, saying, why the hell didn't you bring the breakfast?
On this bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is what's being said. The Hips family believes that the university, the fraternity, and the 3 members are to blame for Tucker's death and tried to cover it up after the fact. Crap, we're in a world of trouble here.
Yeah.
So the suit also felt that Clemson should have responded to emails that they were sending asking for permission to hold the run, telling them that, no, you cannot, hold the run. Instead, they just went unanswered.
Yeah. I mean, they're absolutely liable. I'm positive you're going to tell me that they settled for some kind of a large amount.
So we'll see.
Yep.
So South Carolina tort law protects Clemson University's financial liability so they would never be required to pay the full $25 million. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Tucker Hip's lawyer filed an amended version of the suit saying they had a witness, this witness that I told you came forward, who could corroborate the claim that King, Starr, and Carney forced Tucker to climb onto the narrow railing along the bridge and walk some distance on top of the railing, which caused Tucker to fall. He basically came to light that also in the years of these runs and things like that happening in the past, there was a tradition that existed that pressured or forced pledges to jump off of a bridge and swim to the shore. So there's like various reports of, in this case, obviously the people that were pledging were not forced to jump off the bridge and swim to the shore because only Tucker fell here. So according to court documents, this witness, and most of the things I read, he was unnamed, but in several he was. This was 73-year-old Edwin Griffin.
Oh.
And
I
he
expected
said,
it to be one of the kids.
No, it was not. None of the kids ever came forward with information. So this person said that he saw several kids on the bridge as he drove over. One was on the railing. He wasn't quite sure of what time of the day this happened, though. So there was a lot of issues going on with this witness. Court documents indicate that Griffin was not cooperative at all. He missed many scheduled deposition dates. Eventually, they had to tell him, if you do not respond to this, you will be fined. He basically got forced into coming and giving a deposition. The witness described the students as laughing and having a good time, which indicated there was no force of hazing involved. The witness claimed that he drove over the bridge to go to a gym at Clemson, though according to records with the sheriff's department, he was never on record as going to the gym that day.
Interesting.
So there's problems here.
So his story can't necessarily be believed.
No. He described the students as wearing orange, but in actuality, they were wearing dark clothing because remember that text, wear something dark so that we're not spotted running.
Sure.
So he wasn't consistent with what he saw.
Clemson is also orange.
They are, yeah.
That's why, he might just be thinking about it that way, but still, it's there's a big difference between orange and black.
Yeah. And then during the interview with the Oconee, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Oconee?
Oconee.
Thank you. I did not want to say that wrong. So during the interview with Oconee County Sheriff's Office, the witness also appeared to be coaching himself in the video while he was alone in the interview room. So county officials dismissed this witness due to questions of credibility.
Yeah, and you can't really blame them. I mean, if he can't get his story straight, has a lot of things wrong, then how much of it is actually true?
Yeah, and
it's
problem
too bad
is,
because it'd be awesome to have some kind of answers for Tucker and his family.
And that it be fact.
Right.
So this is the only person that came forward with information about what actually could have happened, but they couldn't take it, know?
I kind of get that maybe none of the other kids had information. Maybe they were way ahead. Or maybe, somebody had to have seen something unless Tucker was the last one, which I doubt.
And I'll tell you a little bit more that tells you that other people knew what happened.
Oh, God.
So it was said that Tucker slipped from the railing and caught the railing under his arms. It's not a metal railing, it's cement. I saw it.
That's what I pictured.
He tried to climb back onto the bridge unassisted. He lost his grip and he fell headfirst into the water below, striking his head on the rocks in the shallow water. Carney's attorney claimed that he didn't see anything. He did not have anything to do with Tucker ending up in the water below, which is basically what everybody claimed.
Right.
King, Starr, and Carney then returned to campus with the other pledges, providing no help to figure out what happened to Tucker. The lawsuit alleges that King used the flashlight of his cell phone to shine down from the bridge into the dark waters below, because again, they're running in the early morning hours. It's not the sun hasn't risen yet.
And remind me, was King, Starr, or Carney one of the guys that called 911?
Starr called 911.
So Starr, one of these three guys you're talking about, called 911. Okay.
King is the one that got pissed off about the breakfast, that supposedly received a phone call saying, what the hell, Tucker didn't bring the breakfast,
and confronted
him on the bridge.
Right.
So there is report that he shined his flashlight from his cell phone down to the water, which proves that he knew that Tucker fell.
Okay. And where did that report come from?
I'm assuming this witness.
Okay. Oh, well, then you can't, that's not admissible, really.
Right. You can't, there were no criminal charges filed.
Right.
No, these kids didn't get in trouble.
Not to mention, if it's 20 or 30 feet down below, you're not going to see anything with a cell phone.
But it would be natural instinct to want to try to see.
For sure. Yeah.
But the question is, too, this witness, if you saw somebody fall off a bridge, wouldn't you stop and try to get help?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I know that's what I would do.
Right. Or at least make a call somewhere. Like maybe not stop, but make a call immediately.
Hey, I just
somebody
saw
fall off a bridge.
a kid fall off the bridge, you know?
Yeah.
But that never happened. So there was word that was, King's on the bridge. He's looking down. He's shining his flashlight. Whether or not this happened, we don't know. But he called Star at this point, the one that called 911. We don't know what was said during the conversation. We just know that at this point he called him. The frat brothers then ran over the bridge and went back to campus while King stayed and continued to shine his flashlight down toward the water.
And this is according to this guy who said he saw something.
Yes. And then from here, we wouldn't know what exactly happened other than what the frat brothers may have said. So later at the frat house, he gave a lecture to the fraternity saying it would be disappointing if a member fell behind since they should act as a unit.
King said this?
Yes.
Okay.
He basically gathered the group of pledges and frat brothers and said, it'd be a shame if anyone fell behind since we're a unit. The morning run was not hazing. That's what he's telling everybody.
He knows he's in deep shit.
They're
basically.
damage control right now.
100%.
So more than 7 hours again had passed before Starr notified the police that Tucker was missing. His girlfriend, Tucker's girlfriend, Katie, wasn't getting a hold of Tucker. She was texting him, calling him, whatever. So she reached out to one of the members, said, "Hey, have you seen Tucker?" This member lied and said, "You know what? Somebody said they saw him in the library." He then texted a group from the frat and said he told them about the lie and said it would help them buy them time. So, they know Tucker's not coming back.
Yeah.
So not good.
And they're not sharing any information.
Mm-hmm. So Cindy Hip's lawyer, Jennifer Burnett, feels that what happens is that fraternities ask people to do small and meaningless things. Clean up, buy beer, things that seem fairly innocuous in nature. Then the fraternity asks you to do something that puts somebody at risk and you can't say no. In July of 2017, all parties settled the lawsuit with the Hips family. Some details of the settlement were kept confidential, so we don't know a lot of it.
Yeah, they probably can't say how much they got just in return for getting the money, which, whatever. It's not going to bring your son back. I'm sure, they'd much rather have their son. No doubt about
and they
it,
weren't doing this lawsuit for the money. It was more to make a point of things have to change.
Get it in the press.
Yes.
Yeah. Be like, this is stupid. Why is this not, especially Clemson not sending back a letter saying no.
Right.
Or whatever. It's having some kind of response.
Whose job was it to check this email and respond back?
Right.
So Clemson had several incidents leading up to Tucker's death within its fraternities, and it had planned to suspend fraternity activities starting at 5:30 p.m. on the day that Tucker died.
Wow.
So there were problems happening. According to records obtained from the university, there was conversation of stalling this due to concern for media attention. We all know, people don't want negative attention, so they're going to quiet things down.
Well, not to mention universities like Clemson are multi-billion-dollar businesses. I mean,
Right.
we look at them as educational, and kids are learning, but they're businesses, man. They're looking for their dollars, and they have a PR department, personal relations or whatever, and they're trying to protect themselves.
Public relations?
Thank you, public relations.
Yeah.
And they have a marketing department. They're run like big
course.
businesses. And they have tons of money coming in. If you've ever sent a kid to college, you know how much money you're spending.
Yeah.
So, and then with football and all the sports, all the money coming in for that, they have a lot to lose with bad press.
Exactly. So they were trying to keep it quiet, but after Tucker's death, all functions were suspended, not only because of what happened to Tucker, obviously this was a major push, but also because of what the additional previous troubles were.
And you can say, the students are our number one concern. Bullshit. If they were, you'd come out with that right away. Yep.
Right.
Money's number one, and then the kids, because they pay us money.
According to Cindy, had she or Tucker's dad, Gary, known of these incidents, they would have stopped Tucker from pledging. They were already concerned when Tucker wanted to pledge, but they had gone to orientation at the university, and this had swayed them in the direction of, encouraging Tucker to pledge. So, while they were in orientation, she was hearing about improvements in time management skills, higher grade point averages, and she had a conversation with her husband, Gary, to allow Tucker to pledge.
Sure, I can see that. If the kid really wanted to, and he seems like a kid with a good head on his shoulders, and services. A lot of frats and sororities do a lot of public service work and, all that stuff, which is awesome. But unfortunately, stuff like this happens sometimes.
In her wildest dreams, she would have never imagined that her son would have been harmed during the process of pledging to get into a fraternity. The settlement with Clemson stipulated a payment of $250,000 and the endowment of a $50,000 scholarship in Tucker's name for Palmetto Boys State attendee to then come and study at Clemson. The university also dedicated a pew in Tucker Hipps's name in Cadden Chapel on campus, and a plaque was placed in Tucker's memory. The chapel is named after a Clemson student who died in a car accident in 2015.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
Geez,
I mean, the SigEp local chapter was removed from campus on a 5-year suspension that expired in December of 2019, and the Virginia-based national organization agreed to educate both current and future members about the incident. Most of the money from the settlement would be used to pay the Hips family lawyers. So whether or not they reinstated SigEp at Clemson, I could not find any confirmation. All I know is that it expired in 2019 and they were starting the process of trying to get back and potentially back in 2020, but I could not find whether or not it actually happened.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't matter. It's not like the fraternity is ultimately the reason that this happened. It's because kids were stupid and they did dumb shit that, they made horrible decisions, whether they're part of whatever fraternity name, whatever Greek letters you can come up with. It doesn't matter which one it was. It's like that. Okay, you're suspending this one. What about the other ones that might be doing something similar? Obviously they probably looked into those too, but all this stuff is so like, one of my favorite movies is Animal House, which is about going to a frat and all that stuff and meeting people and having all these parties. And it's not like that anymore, man. You can't be like messing around with this crap and the binge drinking, like, making sure that they drink a whole bottle of alcohol. Like when we went to school, somebody that went to my high school that I knew at our college, like died from drinking a whole thing of Goldschlager in like an hour, like that kind of crap is so stupid, man.
Oh, I mean,
like,
it's alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, exactly. Like in something like this isn't even part of the pledge process. This was a guy allegedly that one of these guys like made him walk on the thing because they heard this story before. Just like stupid kids being stupid, man. And
just
like,
making decisions that they don't realize can end in somebody dying.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened on our university campus at a frat house was they had a huge, what was it, like a brick that was propping the door open upstairs, and everyone was drinking and intoxicated, and the guy took the brick and just threw it over the balcony, and one of his frat brothers was standing below, and it struck him in the head and he died on impact.
And it wasn't because of this frat's name, whatever it was. It
because of
matter.
drinking.
Yeah, just bad decisions.
Yeah. So after the settlements were approved, Cindy and Gary made a statement. We lost our only son, Tucker, in a senseless way. No student should ever go to college and be expected to participate in dangerous activities. No student should ever experience hazing. If your son or daughter is joining an organization and you have concerns, please be diligent. Please contact the college or the university. Please talk to your children. Please take advantage of the information, which is now public, about these organizations through the Tucker Hips Transparency Act by looking at the school's website.
Ah, that's awesome.
So because of what happened to Tucker, the South Carolina legislature passed the Tucker Hips Transparency Act in 2016. This requires universities to publicize code of conduct violations by student organizations. So I was clearly able to see exactly who was on suspension and when it would be up. Like there were several. I remember one was like up in 2025.
You know what it should also make them do is publicly publish what you're going to have to do to be a member of this frat. And it cannot like veer off of that track.
Right.
Like there's all these secret bullshit rituals. Okay, enough of that, man. Like if one person died, and unfortunately many more than one have died.
Oh yeah.
It's time to just lay it all on the table. So and I know it's going to put them up for liability. It's like, well, we can't say that they need to drink like 12 beers or whatever. Yeah, well then stop doing the 12 beer thing.
How about they don't drink 12 beers to be a member?
Make them do something stupid, like run around their underwear, whatever. Like that's funny and whatever, but like none of this shit that can make people die.
Exactly.
Like when are they going to like come to their senses and just make sure you have to publish everything and be a whistleblower? If there's something that they're making you do that's not fully published, then let's come out and rid them of that.
The problem is nobody wants to be that guy. You're trying to get into this thing. You're like, I'm not going to throw them under the bus and tattle on them.
Yeah.
That's the problem, because that's the mentality. I'm not going to be the whistleblower.
Yeah.
So Cindy and Gary Hipps were determined that something positive would come out of such a tragic situation, and they have worked to raise awareness about the dangers of hazing. They travel around to different universities to speak with fraternities about their son. Cindy and Gary hope that changes will happen so that no other parent will have to feel what they have been forced to live through. They also established the Tucker Hipps Memorial Foundation to keep his legacy alive. After Tucker's death, the university implemented changes to its Greek system by adding new staff members to add leadership and health and wellness programming, to increase counsel advising support, increase new member education on hazing, alcohol, sexual misconduct. You know, really what it is so much of it stems from the alcohol, because we're making bad decisions because we're, intoxicated, and now all of a sudden there's a sexual misconduct suit. What do they say? 90% of sexual assault cases happen on college campuses involve alcohol.
But here's the thing that I'm just thinking about right here. In Tucker's situation, this didn't involve alcohol.
No, there was no involvement of alcohol.
And in what the example I just gave, making them run around, naked or whatever, this would be considered kind of like fun, like, okay, make them run at 3 a.m. That should be not a big deal, right?
But it is considered hazing.
Yeah, I guess so.
And there's no hazing allowed.
Yeah, but I mean, and this had nothing to do with the run. It did because he didn't bring breakfast, and allegedly maybe somebody threw him or made him get on this bridge and jump off, or he slipped.
Just walk it.
Yeah. So it's really hard to say. I mean, we keep talking about the sexual stuff and whatever, but this had nothing to do with alcohol,
and that had nothing to do with
zero.
It.
So I guess all hazing. Do you just stop it?
Well,
sure.
I mean, and really, that's what the goal is. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, why can't they just be friends and do good things in the community, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So they've also added fraternity and sorority life-certified peer educators to implement peer-led wellness programs. A 2017 article indicated that the 2016-2017 academic year saw a significant decrease in violations of the Student Code of Conduct by frat members. So I think it's just got to be like, this is just the way going forward. Like,
you change the culture.
You just change the culture.
Yeah, it's like, and kids are going to be smarter because it's like, oh, I've read about all this crap on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
When we went, there barely was internet. So it's
there really wasn't. Yeah. I mean, we started school in 1997.
We had this thing called email, electronic mail. It was really exciting, and
we had to go down to the computer lab in order to check it.
Yep. We had to look at our messages.
Mm-hmm.
But now they can look it up and be like, no, I'm not doing that shit. That's stupid.
Right. It just needs to be normalized that you're not going to be hazing.
And then you can go to the fraternity that doesn't make you do that stuff.
Exactly. Cindy is hopeful that someone who was there the morning that Tucker died will come forward to reveal everything that they know. Because, of course, this was 2014. Time has passed. These people are now probably parents and have children of their own. She hopes that maybe something will change in them and that their conscience will prevent them from going to the grave with the information they know.
How do we know more people than King, Star, and Carney know?
We don't.
Okay, those three.
No, it's more about sitting in the place and having conversations and did you overhear something?
So, but we know for a fact King, Star, and Carney probably know.
What we think would have happened was that King was present on the bridge with Tucker. He made a phone call to Star. What was said, we don't know. Star is the one that ultimately called 911.
I actually know somebody with the same name as one of these guys.
Oh, really?
And is the same age. So, I mean, I'm going to have to look into this person.
So, obviously, like I said, this was how many years ago? 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. So now these kids are, 30 years old. They probably have kids, and you'd be looking at your child, think like, oh my gosh, Tucker's parents lost him that day.
I mean, if you search for this story and you happen to be listening to us, you are a certified piece of shit if you know something extra and you have not come forward with it.
And I think it's not even if it's something extra. It's like she wants to just know. She's being told by some 73-year-old witness that's not giving good information. He's not sure what time of day he went over the bridge. He said he went to the gym. He didn't. He said they were wearing orange. They weren't. She just wants to know what happened to my son that day.
Yeah, extra is not what I meant. I mean, if you can give some information, any kind of information outside of these guys, King, Star, and Carney. If you've heard stories, then please, just tell them. I mean, do it anonymously. Who cares? Write a letter, man.
That's what my thought was.
Buck up, be a human being, and send information. Like these, I'd be questioning all these guys that were part of this fraternity. Like you're a piece of shit. If you haven't said something, if you haven't heard something and told something, then you're a piece of shit.
And odds are, we know in the stories that we tell on this podcast that a lot of the time people get caught doing things because they can't shut their friggin' mouths.
I know that the story has gotten out.
The story has gotten out. Maybe it stayed within the walls of the fraternity house, and it's like, this is going to die with us. But somebody heard something within the walls of that frat house.
Give me a break. Who gives a shit, man? And I know it was a huge mistake. They didn't want him to die. I'm sure they wanted.
No, and I don't believe that they wanted him to die.
Of course,
I don't think that they're bad people.
Right.
They made a bad choice.
Right.
And it was a stupid teenage thing. Hey, get on the bridge and walk the thing. Teenagers don't think about the consequences before they act sometimes. I'm not saying every teenager, but sometimes teenagers have that knee-jerk reaction to do something and they don't think about what can happen as a result of it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of a person that has heard a story. You come forward and you say, okay, anonymously, I know some stuff. Now the police are like, we can't file charges unless you're not anonymous. So then one of these guys, maybe assumingly, you're going to have to help with charges against them, and they're going to get hit for involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah.
And they're going to go to jail, and they're going to lose their family and stuff like that. Not saying that they shouldn't, because Tucker lost his life because of one of these assholes.
Right.
But at the same time, this person might have a great family and be like so sorrowful, but still they'd go to jail for years.
And I don't even know if that's what Cindy wants. I think she just wants to know what happened.
If you came forward and then Tucker's family might be like, we promise we won't press charges, that might be something different. Not that I'm just spitballing here.
Anonymously write a letter. Hey, I just want you to know that morning X, Y, and Z happened. I was there, or I wasn't there, but I was at the frat house. There was conversations happening. I heard what happened, and just maybe she'd even be satisfied with that.
That's true. Yeah, just leave a letter, send a letter somewhere, and then if it hasn't been done already, just say, I'm not coming forward ever. The person is very sorry for what they did, and so sorry for your son being lost. That's not what we meant.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't believe they would have ever wanted Tucker to fall to his death.
Yeah.
Cindy says that she forgives the boys involved in her heart because she refuses to live as an angry person. A $50,000 reward was offered to anyone willing to provide additional information. It was later increased to $100,000. Since it increased, the investigators have only received a few tips. There was no substantial leads came as a result of the increase. Cindy and Gary miss Tucker terribly. He is still the first thing they think of when they wake up in the morning, the last thing they think of before they go to sleep. Each year on September 22nd, the family and friends of Tucker gather at the cross that stands on the bridge where Tucker fell to his death to honor his memory. Those who want to come forward with anonymous tips can call the Oconee County Sheriff's Office directly at 864-638-4111 with any information you might have.
Yeah, if you know somebody that went to school and was a SigEp at Clemson.
In 2014.
Yeah, right
or even thereafter, people talk and, hey, remember
Coming
3
back.
years ago?
Yeah, there's some people, anybody who was a SigEp around that time.
Although they got suspended for 5 years after the fact, so there wouldn't have been SigEps
or
again.
even before that time. So 2013, 12, 11, 10, they all talk to each other. So, man.
So that is just the terribly sad and tragic story of the death of Tucker Hips.
I mean, if I was a SigEp fraternity member, I would take that off of my stuff like around that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, at Clemson, because I wouldn't want to be looked at.
Off of your resume?
Yeah, like LinkedIn or whatever.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't want people reaching out to me, like especially true crime people, trying to get information.
True, you wouldn't want to be tied to it.
Yeah.
So just very unfortunate that such a positive person in this world could die in just such a tragic thing, like on a Monday morning doing a harmless run and you end in your death.
Like I said, why can't it just be harmless and it might turn into something stupid like this? All right. Well,
so thank you all for being here.
Yeah, thanks for telling Tucker's story. We appreciate it. If you guys like what you hear, I have good news for you. You can actually get bonus episodes. That's right, Allison. Bonus episodes if you become a Patreon. So, or if you just want to help us, Allison puts in, like I say, pretty much every week. Allison puts in 5-6 hours to every single story. So, it's very much appreciated. So, if you're going to leave a review or come and be a Patreon, I think there's
You're cute when you say become a Patreon. Patron.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm cute either way.
You're cute.
Yeah, I'm like just one of those little engine that could. We want to say thank you to our newest patrons, Allison and Scarlett, Great name, Allison.
Yeah,
because
Scarlett's a beautiful
Scarlett's
name,
a beautiful
too.
name too. Absolutely. Both actually every single, it's the weirdest thing. Every single patron has like the best name and has the best face and everything.
Yes,
Like,
and personality and soul and everything.
absolutely. Pets and loved ones. So thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate it. And if you become a patron, we're going to mention you next week too. I think Allison became a patron as we were doing last week's
She
episode.
did,
So that was
yes.
pretty cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and we thank all of you for being here and listening.
Go buy yourself a t-shirt. You deserve it, or a sweatshirt, and look as cool as Allison right now. So this Allison, and maybe that Allison, who knows? So either way.
And until next time, bye.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.